Erik's has gone. How do you take that news?
Quite surprised. I mean, if you saw the West Ham game yesterday, I thought, we made a good account of ourselves. It's a results-driven business, so not surprising really in the end, but I thought we played okay yesterday.
A bit unlucky, weren't we? He's been very unlucky the last few weeks, hasn't he?
Very unlucky. I mean, the Villa game wasn't a great quality game, but we matched Villa. Could have won that game. Brentford game, a lot of fight. And then obviously the Hammers game yesterday, enough chances to win that game 3 times.
Exactly. Now, Ruud's been handed the job on an interim basis.
Yep.
I can tell by your face that's not a great appointment for you.
Well, I mean, he gets the club, he loves the club, he understands it. I've seen when you watch him on the sidelines, his passion, his animation, really good to see. But I think as soon as that point was announced over the summer, it was always going to be the case. He was the man in waiting.
Exactly. Do you think he'll get it full time, or do you think the likes of Xavi, Gareth Southgate?
Not a fan of Southgate myself.
Graham Potter.
Oh, not a fan of Potter either. Over the summer, I even suggested Pochettino, but obviously he's gone to the States now. I think in the short term, it'll be give him 5-10 games, see how he gets on. Like I say, he gets the club, he's passionate. But no, there's got to be a long-term solution. Xavi apparently has held talks. So apparently he's on the cards, but I don't know.
Exactly. What can Man United salvage this season?
Early days still. I mean, we've only played 9 games in the league.
Europa League.
And Europa League, 3 games. We were in front in all 3 of those games and managed to draw them, and that's been the story of our season. Quite unlucky, lots of chances. My concern is, how does Nistelrooy get our strikers banging it in? That's what he's brought into the club to do, to bring goals to Garnacho and Højlund. He hasn't been able to do it as an assistant. What's going to change now?
News of Erik being sacked has just leaked out. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it was time, to be honest. I do feel for him a little bit, but performances just haven't been good enough. I think the important thing is who they bring in next, obviously. But yeah, I had a feeling it was going to happen this morning.
What do you make of Ruud taking charge?
I think it's only, I've just read it's only in the short term anyway. I did not want them to give him the job because it would just be like it would have been with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer anyway, so we don't want that again. But yeah, it's just who's available.
We've started to talk with Xavi, haven't we?
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that, because I know he's got a bit of a relationship with Omar Barad, doesn't he, from Barca. Could be interesting, it could work, or it could it could absolutely fail spectacularly. So
but what about other names, Gareth Southgate, Graham Potter?
I do not want Gareth Southgate in charge of Manchester United. Watching England, I know even though he's got to finals and stuff like that, the football that he plays, it just will not work at Man United. That's what I'm a little bit worried about, because even with the team he had with England, we should have been winning them tournaments, and he didn't, even though he got to finals and stuff like that. But his management style is just not what we want. I do not want Southgate anywhere near Man United. There's talk of Amorim. I don't really know much about him. He's obviously doing all right with Sporting. But yeah, my ideal choice would probably Nagelsmann, or Nagelsmann, however you pronounce it. But it's just whether we can get him away from the Germany national team. But I mean, if Man United come calling and you give him the big job, I think if that's a possibility, I would go for him. He'd be my number 1 choice.
What do you make of the news of Erik ten Hag being sacked?
I mean, it was going to happen eventually, and with the recent result, it was like you had to go.
Who would you like to see take over?
It's probably going to be like Southgate or something.
Apparently in talks with Xavi.
Yeah.
Would you like to see Xavi
I think
here?
Xavi is probably a good option.
Yeah, it'd bring that style of football that I think United fans are craving, aren't they?
Yeah,
that's brilliant.
Because Ten Hag's been here for a few seasons, but he hasn't really implemented a clear style of football.
We just had the news that Erik ten Hag's been sacked as manager of Manchester United. What do you make of that?
Hasn't come as a surprise. He probably needed his 1-year extension, and I can understand that. He did win 2 trophies, did beat City. That must count for something. But unfortunately, for me personally, as a match going red, I don't think he had a decent enough plan to get the results. So it didn't come as a surprise.
So, numbers of names being linked with the job, because it's still a top job. Who would you like to see come in? You've got the likes of Southgate, Potter, Thomas Frank, Xavi.
Right, now maybe you start the foreign coaches, maybe. But the others, it would be like a job. None of the above. You know, it is a really big job, and you need a really big new manager. They missed out on Southgate, probably. They missed out on, was it Tuchel?
Yeah.
You know, they'd have been better choices. I mean, maybe Southgate at the moment, but I don't know, but you'd have to ask these two.
What do you think, guys?
I'm thinking more maybe Xavi, because he's got that footballing history, but he's also got that knowing of how attacking and defending and keeping it nice and balanced, all at the same time, with keeping a positive mindset even if you're losing.
That's the key word, I think, balance. The team's been very unbalanced, hasn't it? What do you think?
Yeah, I'd agree with Xavi. He's proven himself Barcelona winning titles in the La Liga. And he's got like a tactic behind him and a plan. And like, Ten Hag didn't really have a plan. But I think someone has to change for the managers, because they've had 8 managers since Fergie and it's just the same problems. No plan, loss, and it's just unacceptable.
Exactly, since Moyes, it's just been a catalogue of disasters.
Yeah, it has. And Moyes was supposedly chosen by Fergie, but that turned out not to be right, didn't it?
No, exactly. But I always think that Moyes suffered because Gill went. I think if Gill had stayed till the end of the transfer window, I think we'd have had a very different story with Manchester United. Because it was Gill who was buying the players, wasn't it?
Well, it was. But again, with Ten Hag, players, they've got to hold their hands up, you know. And, I mean, all right, we go to that penalty. Was it not? But those decisions and things like that get managers sacked. And he's no control over that.
As a United fan, how do you take the news of Erik being sacked?
Listen, it's never nice to see a manager get sacked. However, that being said, it's been a long time coming. I was surprised with the news regime that he kept his job in the summer. I thought he'd have gone away with a handshake after the cup win. They gave him another go, and straight from the start, I couldn't see what he was going to do differently. I think for whatever reason, he just struggles to motivate the players. I just don't think the man management there. I don't think they want to die for him on the pitch, which I think the players need to. Like at City for Pep, like we had Klopp at Liverpool. You've got to have that fire, you've got to have that hunger, desire to want to die for the boss. And for whatever reason, the lads just don't seem to want to do it for Erik.
You know, it's been quite shambolic, some of the performances this year.
Yeah, I think some of the decision making, some of the signings certainly very questionable. Decisions, people coming in like in midweek where he played Missouri at number 10, and you got Ahmad, player of the month last month, coming on for 5 minutes at the end. It just doesn't make sense to me. Doesn't make sense.
Exactly. How do you feel about Van Nistelrooy taking charge?
Listen, he's United through and through. I think in UOS, Mr. Ratcliffe had a contingency plan that with him being on the bench, that if the worst were to happen, he'd step in and take it. Listen, he can't do any worse, can he? We saw Ollie come in and take the job a couple of years ago, got off to a flying start. If I was United, I'd start the process to look for a manager again, give Van Nistelrooy a go. If after 10 games we're back to winning ways and we've got some identity, why not give him to the end of the season? And if by the end of the season, we're looking more of a United team, players want to play for him, give him a couple of year contract, let him have a go.
Exactly. So there's other names being linked, Southgate.
For me, that I don't see the sense in that. Why? What's he achieved at club level? Did he achieve a lot at international level? Because with a group of players he got, he couldn't get us over the finish line. So why is he going to come to Manchester United and do something different? I don't think he's got the I just don't think it's for him.
Xavi,
okay, done good at Barcelona, but again, we don't know if he's a one-trick pony. He's only done it there. For me, my dream manager for United would be Diego Simeone from Atletico Madrid. Someone that's going to come in and fire the players right up, wear his heart on his sleeve, and they're going to want to die for him. So for me, Diego Simeone would be the one. Whether it's achievable to get him is a different question, but I'd love to see someone with that stature at United.
Erik Ten Hag's just been sacked as United boss. What do you make of the news?
I'm very glad that he's been sacked because we've been performing below par for a lengthy of time. And I think it's about time that we need like fresh energy, a new perspective and new ideas.
Exactly. So Van Nistelrooy's taken charge. What do you make of that move for him?
I think he'll be good as an interim coach, but I don't think he'll be good enough for the long-term position.
Who would you like to see take the job?
No worries, thanks.
I think my first choice would have been Thomas Tuchel, but he has taken over as England boss, so I don't know.
They're talking about Xavi coming in. What do you think of that?
I don't think he'll be an upgrade on Ten Hag, to be honest.